good evening, and good evening once again. My name is Latricia Sharice Wilson, missing person investigative journalist. Um, I am also the admin or administrator for my media outlet, which is Missing, Lost, and Trafficked. Feel free to join Missing, Lost, and Trafficked Facebook group to get the latest updates on open missing person uh, cases and homicides. Uh, Tonight, we will be speaking with Marie Buildt. She is the sister of Sean and can you correct me? I want to make sure I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. So I'll
It's
let you interject.
Luberger.
Luberger, okay? So,
Yeah.
yes, Marie is here. She's joined this broadcast via audio on tonight. And she will be speaking about the disappearance of Mr. Sean Luberger. He was last seen June 26th of 2021 was the last time he was seen. And then I do have a flyer that has been circulating widely on Facebook and other social media outlets as well, or networks. So I want to spell Sean's name. It's the first name is spelled Sean, last name spelled Luberger. Okay. And tonight I will just simply refer to him as Sean. But it's important you know his last name for all of my viewers that are watching. Sean is 49 years of age. His hair color is brown. He has brown eyes. His height is 5'10". He weighs about or approximately, at the time of his disappearance, approximately 200 pounds. Okay. There is a $1,000 reward being offered by his family and supporters for an individual or to the individual who can direct them to Sean's whereabouts. Direct whereabouts. They want to find him safe, want to definitely find him healthy and alive. Sean Luberger was last seen again June 26, 2021 at his friend's house in Barberton, Ohio. His clothing description is unknown, but he has a scar under his left eye. He wears glasses, actually, and he has a mustache and goatee. He has tattoos on his upper arms. Sean's maroon 2003 Chevy was located in the parking lot on I have Romick Road in Akron, Ohio on July 24th of 2021. If anyone has information regarding his whereabouts, you are being asked to contact the wheel.They police detective Baru at 440-953-4210. There is a case number assigned to Sean's missing person police report. The case number is 21-19855, and that number again is 440-953, ladies and gentlemen, 4210. So I do have on joining me tonight in this Pacific broadcast, in this StreamYard broadcast, Marie Buildt. She has joined, and Marie, she is Sean's sister. You won't see her on camera tonight. You will hear her, and you will know that she's there because her name is typed out. Her first and last name is typed. It's either to the right or the left of this stream, and you'll be able to hear our discussion. Please let me know in comments. I'll be checking. I have another phone device if you're having trouble hearing us, if something is going wrong, so I can make adjustments, whatever I need to do to make sure you have the information you need to help Marie find and locate her brother. That would be awesome. So thank you so much for joining. And just for we may be being a bit redundant, but there are people joining this live stream, individuals that are joining this live stream tonight. And so I would like for you to, state your name. It doesn't have to be your first and last name, and just state your relationship to Sean, if you could, Marie.
Oh, Sean is my brother.
Okay.
He's my older brother. I'm his younger sister.
Okay. Younger. So you're his youngest or younger sister?
Younger sister.
Younger sister. So I guess you would be inferring that Sean has multiple sisters, right? Or siblings?
Yes, there's more siblings. It's a little complicated as far as that goes. I'd rather not get into it, but Sean and I are really, really close, more than the rest of
Right.
the siblings.
Okay. No problem. You don't have to be super specific. I just wanted to know if there were other, sisters or siblings. And so if you want to take a few minutes to just talk about your relationship with Sean, like how often you speak to him and what your relationship has been like, the sister brother relationship. We're all ears on tonight.
So Sean and I actually we have the same mother. Our relationship goes as far as Sean and I found each other quite a few years back. My mom had two sets of kids, older kids, which was Sean, another son and another daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the daughter's actually now passed on now. And then she had me and my three sisters. The three older kids were actually adopted out and to different families. And then my mom had me and my other sisters and stuff. And then she actually passed away when we were very young. And then I didn't know my older siblings, and then Sean found us quite a few years ago, and he and I got to be very, very as close as any brother and sister could be. It was like we had known each other our whole life. We were very, very alike. Um, we then actually found our other sister, Melanie, who actually passed away about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure where to go from there. He and I were very close. I was leaving a bad relationship about a year and a half ago, and he was trying to better himself and start his life over again after some unfortunate choices that he may have made in his life. And we decided to move away from the city that, we had known and move out really far away from everyone and just start our lives over again. And we moved in together into a big house and that we shared. And then Sean started making some questionable choices, and I decided that that wasn't the best situation for me and my children, and I moved out into my own house. I still spoke to Sean. We were still very close. But I did tell him, I'm not happy with the choices that you're making. I love you, but you need to get your things together. You need to get it together. Um, and in June actually is when he disappeared. In June 15th, I actually had brain surgery.
Oh,
So,
I'm so
yeah,
sorry to hear that.
thank you.
Yeah.
So, I was actually messaging him about, telling him about my surgery, and I hadn't heard anything back. And I thought that that was kind of odd, because no matter what was going on, me and him could cuss each other out. We still love each other. He'd still be there. There
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been one time that I have needed my brother and he has not been there for me. No matter what was going on, either one of our lives, we needed each other. We were there. But I didn't hear back from him, and I thought that that was questionable. And then June 26th came about, and do I go into detail about like his disappearance?
Well, I wanna make sure everyone that's tuned in tonight, they're able to kind of
Okay.
follow along and not get confused. That's very important. And
Okay.
so that's why I will we will definitely get to that. But I just want to make sure everyone understands first your relationship you have with Sean. Secondly, they understand exactly what point you and others became alarmed about his disappearance, or that rather alarmed about his well-being. And so we're just going to backtrack a little bit here. And
Okay.
so I know that you were saying that you and Sean resided in a home at some point. You and Sean and along with your children decided to move outside of the city. And what city would that be? The city you said that I guess it wasn't the best place at the time for you, Sean, and your children. What city was that you moved from?
We were in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that helps me to really. I just want to get a really good understanding of like where Sean actually came from before he ended up, I guess, somewhere near Barberton, Ohio, and we'll get into that in just a bit. Where he moved, and so at some point you split up after moving from Cleveland, Ohio, kind of out into the suburbs. Is that correct? You all decided that it wouldn't be a good idea for you, him, and your children to live together. Is that correct?
Yeah, we moved into a big house in Warren, Ohio, and
Oh,
then I decided to move into my own separate house, and Sean actually moved back to somewhere in Willoughby. He was staying in Willoughby.
okay, okay. So when you say move back to Willoughby, is Willoughby close to Cleveland, Ohio?
It is, yes.
Okay, so Willoughby is close. Okay, like, well, time and location and all of that is important. So I'm actually just kind of like taking notes while I'm talking to you tonight. There were so many different details that I just was not privy to before this conversation. So Willoughby is very close in proximity to Cleveland, is what you're saying.
Yes.
And so he decided it seemed like preferred to live a little closer to the city, and you wanted to stay further away. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
all right. So we're going to kind of fast forward a little bit to June. There was some interesting developments, also that turned out to be rather unfortunate for yourself and your family, uh, and others who loved Sean in June. At some point in June, you learned Sean was missing, or rather, he was not in contact with friends and family. And if you would like to kind of explain how you learned like something was wrong, how did that come about? That Sean was missing.
I actually got a message from the person he was staying with. I don't know if I should go into detail and say their name or their relationship to him or not on here, but
Yeah.
she messaged me and she said, it was the person he was staying with at the time, and she said, I haven't been able to get a hold of Sean. No chance that you've heard from him. And I'm like, no, I haven't heard from him at all. And a couple days go by and she messages me again and she's like, no, I still haven't heard anything. I'm actually going to go make a missing persons report. And that was about the beginning of July. And she told me that she hadn't heard from him since, June 26th, the weekend of June 26th.
Oh, okay. And so you were rather alerted. You didn't know right away.
No.
It was like, you called and he just didn't answer the phone a few times that day. You learned through a friend of his that he had been residing with. Is that correct? You,
Yes, yes. I was kind of down because of my surgery, so I wasn't really making phone calls at the time, but I was alerted through her messaging me saying, Sean hasn't returned. He's not answering phone calls. His phone's going straight to voicemail. At that time, I did attempt to call him several times, and it was going straight to voicemail. And I never was able to reach him.
Okay. So yes, after you were alerted by the friend he had been residing with that, she just wasn't hearing from him and hadn't heard from him since the weekend of June 26th, which is
Yeah.
June 26th of this year, ladies and gentlemen. That's June 26th, 2021. You decided, you know what? Let me call my brother and find out what's going on. And sounds like from what I'm gathering, you were unsuccessful in making contact. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Okay. And so at that point, when you realized you couldn't contact him, what did you decide to do next in efforts to try to find him?
I asked her for all the information. She gave me the information for, the detective, this and that. I called the detective and I asked him, are you guys able to ping his phone? Can you find out where his phone is, this and that? And the detective was able to do that, and he did ping his phone to um a cell tower in Bath Township, which is fairly close to Akron Barberton area where they found his car. It's not too far from there. Um
Okay. So you speak with the detective assigned to Sean's case, because of course the detective was this assigned to his case after the person he had been residing with reported him missing.
yeah.
And they pinged his phone, which the detectives working on Sean's case pinged his phone. They pinged it to Bath. I believe it's Bath from what I read, Township. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And if you could tell me about how far is Bath Township again from where your brother's car was found?
It's not too far at all. Where he was staying at that weekend, he was supposed to be at a friend's house that weekend. He went to a friend's house in Barberton, Ohio on the 26th. And he had stayed at that friend's house from the 26th to the 28th. And according to the friend, he left on the 28th. He told his friend, "I'm going home." Back to Willoughby where he or Will Wycliffe where he was staying. And he then somehow he had called him or FaceTimed him.
Yeah, we were going to get into that in just a
Yeah.
moment. Just want everyone to understand this is really important. Where his phone was pinged at and how far it was away from where the vehicle was found. I know his vehicle was found in Akron, so if you can give me minutes, like 10 minutes, 15, 20, 30 minutes, or an hour, how far away in distance?
That one, I'm not too sure exactly on that part.
Okay, okay. But you do know that his phone was pinged in another city, a city close to the city or town his car was found in. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just didn't want to I'm not trying to be rude. I just didn't want to move too far ahead and then everyone's like all confused, like what is
Oh
going on?
yeah, I get it.
It's easy to get confused if we kind of skip far ahead into the circumstances. And then these details are extremely important. His phone being pinged in one city nearby, and I am going to definitely go to Google Maps and do a lot of mapping tonight. So I'll be taking time to map out mileage, distance, everything.
Okay.
Time travel, we'll be working on that. Well, I know I will specifically to try to figure out, why his phone was pinged in one place and why his car was found in Akron, Ohio. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So they pinged his phone there. Do you know if detectives learned whether or not Sean had friends or anyone he knew in the area, might have known in the area his phone was pinged at?
Not in the exact location. The exact location that his phone pinged at was near a rest stop. It was a rest stop area where his phone was pinged glass.
It was near a rest stop.
Yeah, it was a rest stop area where his phone pinged glass.
Okay. And at this specific, okay, so near this rest stop, is there any friends or anyone, I would say at least 10 to 50 miles away from, in proximity to where his phone was pinged at?
Not that I know of. The I'm not sure how far exactly away the friend's house is that he was at that weekend, but I know it's relatively close, but again, I don't exactly have exact locations and,
Okay.
minutes.
I definitely understand. Okay. And so, yeah, it's you became quite alarmed when you learned that Sean had, not only he hadn't returned home, at the house he and a female shared together, a home they shared together. You became more so alarmed, learning that, and we'll get into that right now. A friend he had been visiting for a weekend. This friend said in a statement to you, I guess, or close family members, that Sean was at his home that weekend, the weekend of June 26th. And then he decided to leave. He left. Did he leave that day, or allegedly left the day of June 26th?
No, he was there from June 26th until June 28th. He left on June 28th.
Okay. All right. So he left on June 28th, and he was driving, correct?
Yes.
And at some point, the friend informed you, he was on his way back home, which is in wheel.They, from what you understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of those two. Wycliffe.
Okay. And at some point, Sean decided that he did not want to continue that travel or the journey back home. He called his friend and asked his friend, based upon what I've read in Facebook posts, if he could return back to his house. And I want to ask you first, did you find that to be alarming that suddenly he wanted to, or allegedly wanted to, go back to his friend's house after he had already told his friend he was heading home?
I find the whole story to be a bit odd. He told, the detective that he said, can I come back because there was a girl that was over there that he had liked, I want to come back. I want to try to talk to that girl or whatever. And he told the detective, that he didn't give him a direct answer. Now, I did reach out to that friend myself, and he told me that he told Sean, yes, you could come back to my house. So I'm not sure exactly what the truth there is.
Okay. So we're just going on what the friend says, because unfortunately, we don't have Sean here to fill us in on the details and speak to us regarding what happened, before he went missing. So we have to rely on what Sean's friend, the friend he had been visiting that weekend of June 26th, told you. That's what we're kind of going by in terms of, trying to get a timeline on, what he did and where he might have gone, or mapping the timeline. And so you said you did find that odd that suddenly your brother would decide, you know what, I was on my way back home, but I'm going to call my friend and I'm just going to go back to his house. Found odd.
He had, I guess he said that he called him from that rest stop that his phone pinged at. So that's what he said, that he had called him from the rest stop that his phone did ping at, and asked if he could come back because he was interested in the girl. And, like I said, he told the detective he didn't give him a definitive answer. He told me that he told him, okay, yeah, come on back. If that's what you feel like you want to do, come on back. But that he never made it back. And after that, his phone went straight to voicemail and has never been turned on since.
And the reason the friend gave is because Sean was interested in who?
A girl, a female that was, I guess, a mutual friend that he liked, I guess. He was interested in, I guess, trying to date her or something. I don't know. But he was interested in that. This is what he told me, that he was interested in the girl and he wanted to come back and try to talk to the girl. And, the friend told the detective one thing, told me something else. He told the detective he didn't give him a yes or no answer. You can if you want to, but he told me that he told Sean, yeah, come on back. You can come back if you want to try to talk to him. But, I mean, I don't know. Something about that doesn't sit right with me.
Okay. And so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to reiterate, what you just told me, just in case someone missed it or did not hear what you stated. Marie has just informed me that Sean's friend told Sean he could drive back to his home to stay a little while longer. And according to the friend shared with Marie that Sean wanted to come back, or said he wanted to come back because he was interested in pursuing a female. We don't know who the female is. That female is currently unknown to myself. And is this female unknown to you as well? Is that correct, Miss Marie?
Yes.
Okay, so it's unknown female. And you also stated that what this friend told you, it was slightly different. Is that what you're saying from what he told the detective?
Yeah, like I said, he told the detective, I didn't tell him yes or no. But then when I asked him the same question, because I got his story from the detective, and he told the detective, I didn't tell him yes or no, but he told him, yeah, you can come on back. So that was just like one thing that I caught as odd. Like, why would you tell the detective that you didn't tell him yes or no, but you're telling me that you told him, yeah, come on back?
Okay. Yeah, and I guess you were feeling, I hate to use the word guess, but were you feeling as though this friend of Sean should have clearly known whether he clearly told him to come back there or not? Your thoughts.
Yes, I think, in that circumstance, you would know if you told somebody to come back to your house or not. Either you wanted them there or you didn't. There's no in between.
Okay. Now I want to talk about where Sean's car or vehicle was found. It is a 2000. I want to make sure I got this right. I wrote it down in notes. 2003 maroon Chevy. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So Sean's vehicle, what I found to be troubling as I reviewed information, and I've been taking notes and just trying to find out whatever I can learn from just reading posts, basically reading what people are saying on Facebook. So from what I gathered, Sean's vehicle was not discovered until nearly a month.
Yes.
Okay, after he was reported missing, and he was last seen June 26, 2021, this year, ladies and gentlemen. And then Sean's vehicle was located in Akron, Ohio on July, not June, July 24th, 2021, nearly a month after he was last seen in Akron. What are your thoughts? Just if you can just share with me what are your thoughts regarding his vehicle being found, or what are you thinking, I guess, in response to
his vehicle being found almost a month later is not only troubling me, but the fact of the location. of where his vehicle was found. The location of where his vehicle was found was on Romig Road. And if you look up the location in, and look up the friend's address, it's 7 minutes. It's a 7-minute drive from where his car was found to the friend's house. That has been the most puzzling and troubling thing about this whole thing to me.
Okay. That's the most troubling. We'll talk about, that's what we really want to talk about, like what's clear, what's not clear, what you have concerns with, what part of the circumstances, I would say, that concerns you the most. And you're saying tonight you're concerned or you're troubled by the fact that Sean's vehicle was discovered just 7 minutes away, driving distance, you're saying, from the friend's house he was supposed to be returning to.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. Okay. And so it's important to also know, for everyone listening, to also know this is extremely important. And if I have to reach out to police to request, specific bits of information, or maybe an audio call, a 911 call of some sort, I will, no problem. But do you have any idea who discovered this vehicle, your brother's vehicle, nearly a month later in Akron, Ohio, 7 minutes away from his friend's house?
From what I understand, it was in a parking lot that consisted of small businesses, and I think there was a daycare in there possibly. But from what I understand, that they called, but when they called to report the vehicle sitting there, that they had reported that the vehicle had been sitting there for almost a month. And nobody reported it. It had been sitting there for almost a month. And nobody reported it until almost exactly a month to the day my brother went missing.
So you're saying this vehicle did not just pop up like a week before, July 26th, when authorities, spotted it or took a look went out to take a look at it, right? It happened there, according to business owners, in a parking lot for nearly a month. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, so that would make it had been sitting there pretty much since the day of his disappearance. If not very, very close to that day.
Okay. And I guess, why do you think it took the business owner or whoever, this is just your thoughts, called, I guess they had to call police and let them know, hey, there's a vehicle that's just sitting here, needs to be towed or something, right? Why do you think it took so long to, report the vehicle as just being an abandoned vehicle?
I don't know. And that's been troubling me too. Like, why, if you have a business, you have a parking lot, you see the same car sitting there day after day after day, why wait 4 weeks to report it? I mean, you would think that after a few days it would be reported. You know what I mean? And, I don't know. It's something about that doesn't make sense. The whole thing is so confusing. It's so crazy.
Okay. And we know that oftentimes, and I'm guilty of doing this as an individual, we won't report something right away, or we'll see something over and over and over again until we're like, I'm not in a big rush to get home today, or whatever the situation is. Let me call this in, or let me see what's going on. A lot of times people overlook something that's really important. It's their face. That just don't have the time to look into it, or they're just like, why is that there? Why is that? And then they'll be triggered to, at some point, we as humans, we often do this, something will trigger us after a while. And I think that
Right.
happened here, you know.
And unfortunately, there was no cameras that caught the car. And if there was, they had only went back to, I think it was 2 to 3 weeks. So we missed the mark on the cameras being able to capture who drove the car there by a very, very short period of time.
So no, sir, you were not able to get, sir, or you have not been able to get surveillance footage so far from business owners in the plaza. You're saying it's a plaza, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's like a parking lot.
parking lot, but
Yeah.
it's near businesses. Is that correct?
Yes.
Which would be like a plaza parking lot, right?
Yes.
And so just I refer to those plazas as like shopping centers, I guess. But
Yeah.
okay, so you're saying that there has not been one single business owner who's reviewed surveillance footage showing who drove, and I'm pretty sure business owners in a plaza have surveillance, right? Showing
Yeah.
the car entering, leaving, riding through, or anything like that.
No, they had surveillance, but unfortunately they only went back to a certain period of time. And I guess the car had been there longer than that, so they no longer had the footage.
Oh, I understand, because it was recorded in real time, and
Yeah.
and the footage that the business owners had, they only could save so much footage over a period of time. Okay,
Yeah.
right. Okay, I definitely understand. Definitely understand why it would be difficult to go back to, June 26th, the weekend he was last seen, when authorities did not even learn about the vehicle sitting there until it's been like a month later, right?
Right.
July 26th. Do you know where Sean's vehicle is right now? You know who has it?
I believe it is impounded with Akron Police Department.
Okay.
They're keeping it for evidence and to run some certain tests on it because there was a small amount of blood that was found in the car on the dashboard and on the steering wheel. It's a very, very small amount. But there was blood found in the car, so that they kept the car for evidence.
Now, this is information that I'm definitely just now learning about, what you're sharing with me right now. And this information is extremely important. It's extremely important for law enforcement to look further into, in case they weren't looking further into it, right? It's important for our audience. It's important for anyone who just may have some important information they need to be sharing that they've been kind of sitting on or reluctant to share. It's important that everyone understands Marie has just informed me there was a very small amount of blood found in her brother's vehicle, his vehicle, which was found abandoned inside of a parking lot in Akron, Ohio, nearly a month after he was reported missing. And did police tell you where this blood was spotted? Dashboard, where?
It was on the dashboard and the steering wheel.
Okay. I'm making a note of this. I know we've been speaking. It's 9:15 p.m. now. We began our conversation, I guess, right after or right at 8:35 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's now 9:15 Central Standard Time. This conversation may continue for another 15 minutes or 20. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, I have a lot of people tuning in right now, or more individuals tuning in right now to this live stream, and you're sharing some details with me tonight about blood being spotted, in your brother's car, and I was not aware of this, and I'm sure there are a lot of supporters and individuals following his disappearance who were not aware of this, and so the blood was spotted on the dashboard, you're saying?
Yes, just a few drops on the dashboard and on the steering wheel.
Okay, I'm making a note of this. A few drops and on. That's very significant. That's very when I say significant, it's very important. You know, and also on the steering wheel, right?
Yes.
Okay, and they said it was a few drops. Do you know if the police process, the blood to see if the blood? I don't know. I mean, without having Sean, I'm not sure if they can compare or find out if the blood belongs to Sean. But
I am pushing now to get the blood tested. I actually gave my DNA a few days ago to detectives to run against Sean's DNA or the DNA that was found in the car to see if it was a match or not.
okay, just to find out if there was some sort of match. Okay, so you gave your DNA to detectives. Yeah, and they are in the process of testing it. Are they in the process of testing the blood?
He said he is trying to get that done. He is going to file it with BCI and see if he can get them ran against each other to test and see if it is a match.
Okay, trying to get it done, but he hasn't gotten it done, right?
Correct.
How long has he been trying to get this done? Has this process been going on for 3 days?
Yeah. I just recently, maybe about a week ago, gave my DNA because they didn't have anything to compare it to.
Okay, about a week ago. Okay, so would be fair to to say that maybe it may take them a week or two. They're testing DNA and comparing, right? Making comparisons to figure out if the blood on the steering wheel belongs to your brother, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can you discuss any other items found or located in your brother's vehicle the police may have taken note of?
The only thing of significance that was found in the car, and I don't know if I should say this right now or not, but it was a syringe.
Okay.
And that also had blood in it, so that's going to be run against the blood in the car and my DNA and everything to see if everything matches, to see if if it was Sean's, if it was someone else that was driving the car that was maybe getting high, and that's how the blood got in the car. We don't know at this point, but that was the only other thing of significance that the detective told me, was the blood that was found in the car and the syringe.
Okay, so there was blood found in the car, and there was a syringe. And do you know if, or were you informed, rather, I hate to keep saying do you know, were you informed whether or not there was blood inside of the syringe?
There was, yes.
Okay, so blood inside. Okay, so this was a used syringe, and from what I'm hearing, it may have been used right around the time the vehicle was last seen. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. And thank you for taking the time again to speak with me. I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me tonight. A good friend of mine alerted me that your family had been looking for Sean for several weeks and really wanting to get, the public more involved and just aware, of his disappearance so they could help. So the public, could play a role in helping you find your brother and figure out what happened to your brother. So I do want to thank you for joining. And I know this is very hard for you to discuss some of the details and what was found in the vehicle in circumstances regarding Sean's disappearance. I definitely understand that. Is there anything else that you would like to share with everyone listening and viewing this live stream on tonight regarding something you feel that the police should look further into, that maybe they overlooked or have not thoroughly investigated?
I don't want to point fingers, but I believe that the friend whose house he was at that weekend, I think he knows more. I
Okay.
definitely believe in my heart that he knows more. And, I know a lot of people here, oh, there was a needle found in the car and, drug use, this and that, and not as significant as, maybe someone else that's missing. But no matter what was going on in Sean's life, Sean is a son, a 14-year-old son. He loved his son and he loved me and my kids. This definitely is not like him. Sean would never, ever just disappear like this. We know in our hearts that something is very, very wrong here, and we just want answers.
Okay. And you should have answers, right?
Yeah.
You deserve answers. Sean deserves to be found. And from what I've gathered from you, you're saying, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you don't feel as though Sean voluntarily has gone missing. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. And what would you like the police, and I want to make sure I'm stating the correct PD department, is it Willoughby?
Yes, Willoughby.
What would you like the Willoughby Police Department to do to better help you get answers?
So far, honestly, the detective that's on the case, he has been very helpful. He has kept me up to date as much as possible. I believe he's doing everything in his power to find my brother. You know, I don't know what I can say that I would want done. Obviously I want answers. I want them now. But I don't know what I don't really know what to say. I don't know what they can do to make that happen any faster.
Okay. Okay. But so far you've had a pretty good you've been they've been giving you feedback and following up with you. Is that what you're saying? And
Yes, the detective on the case, he does follow up with me. Every little thing that he finds out, he does let me know. And I'm sure I drive this man pretty crazy because I call him, I email him every day, I call him quite frequently. So I don't
okay.
think I don't feel like that he's not doing enough. He's definitely doing everything in his power right now, considering the circumstances and what he has to go with.
Right. Yeah. Considering the circumstances, that's definitely this definitely the circumstances are very much concerning. And and I do believe that your brother's vehicle being discovered and reported a month later has kind of, I would say, created some challenges for the police. Would you agree?
I would agree, definitely. Yes. If it was reported sooner, I think we would be much farther and we would know a lot more by now. But the fact that it took over a month, because if it was reported sooner, we would have the cameras to at least be able to try to see who drove the car there, the circumstances under how the car got there. But because it was reported so late, we lost the camera footage. So now we don't have that either.
Right. Another question I had is, do you know if there are any like areas you would consider to be wooded, I guess, nearby, you know,
Yes.
near where, go ahead,
Where
near where the vehicle was found?
Yes, where they found his car, there's a wooded area behind there. The detectives did go with other detectives and search those woods. They came up with nothing. I'm actually working on trying to get the woods researched. I'd like to go myself with a group of people. I'm trying to get volunteers to go and do that myself and actually go back out to Akron, put out more flyers, um, and go back to that area where they found his car. And actually where his phone last pinged that rest stop area where he made his last phone call, there's actually a wooded area right around there too, like right behind that area too. So both of those places are of significance, and I would like them researched. Even though the detectives did do so, they did check them to the best of their ability. They said they didn't come up with anything significant, but I mean, I don't think it would hurt to go back and go over it again.
So the detectives said that they have walked through these woods or this wooded area.
Yes, where they found his car, they did that. He said he came up with nothing. He went back with other detectives. They checked it. They said they didn't find anything.
Okay, okay, and didn't find anything. Okay, and also, uh, I'd like to know: is there any lakes, ponds, or rivers near that area? The area
Um,
the vehicle was found at in Akron. Uh,
that one I'm not too sure of. I would believe so because it's kind of like more like the country kind of area, but I can't say for sure exactly the name of them or exactly where they are, how far from there.
okay, okay. So I just was wondering about areas that may be nearby that police and volunteers should be kind of looking at. Um, so you're planning a search right now, and I want to talk a little bit about this search. You want to search for your brother. What thus far have you planned? Or where are you in the planning process? Is what I want to know.
I have just started planning. I'm working with another lady who reached out to me, and she's willing to meet up with me in Akron and hand out more flyers. And then after the flyers or before even whatever, I'd like to go into the woods of the area where they found his car. I want to see for myself. I want to go in there and do a search for myself with some volunteers.
Okay, but you do have someone helping you, and it would be great if you could share with me once you have all of your plans, in concrete, I guess, if you could share with me when and where the search party will take place. That would be awesome.
Definitely.
I would like to know, and we have been live for some time since 8:35 Central Standard Time. It's now 9:29, so I guess about an hour, right? 9
Yeah.
p.m. Central Standard Time, and so um, I don't want to hold your night up. We've been talking for quite a bit, and we've discussed a lot in terms of the details and circumstances regarding your brother's disappearance. And so I think it would be great for us to wrap up, and wrapping up our conversation. Would you like to share any final thoughts? Anything?
I just want to thank you for taking your time and doing this. This really means a lot to me. I really, really, really thank you for this.
This is what I do. So no need to thank me. This is what I do. But thank you for having the courage to speak tonight, to speak out, and to discuss some information that um, could be rather uncomfortable sharing publicly. And
Yeah.
thank you for sharing this information. What you shared with me, I believe, will definitely help uh, the public and law enforcement better figure out what happened to your brother and where your brother Sean is tonight. You know, so
Yeah.
thank you. Um, this is Latricia Sharice Wilson. You've been watching Missing, Lost, and Trafficked live stream, and we've been hearing from Marie Buildt tonight. Marie is Sean, and if you want to pronounce his last name, just want to make sure I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly.
Luberger.
Luberger. And she has been discussing Sean Luberger's disappearance. He has been missing since June 26th of 2021. And he was last seen in Barberton, Ohio. Thank you so much for joining, Miss Marie. And you have a great night.
You do the same. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.